What is up, my nieces and nephews? Welcome back to another episode of Fun Uncle. In today's episode, I'm talking about the future of NFTs and the top 5 reasons why I think the skies are blue, the horizon is bright, and the sun is just about to rise on the future of NFTs. The number 5 item in the NFT future is fast food marketplaces or membership programs. That's right. I think the big players like McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, they will have to open up their own NFT marketplaces in the future. It's already starting to happen a little bit where McDonald's is just now releasing its limited edition McRib collectible. Boy, oh boy, are people going to line up to get this bad boy. But I think that is just the beginning. They're going to have a Shamrock Shake limited edition NFT collectible. Coca-Cola is going to do a partnership with them. The Olympics are going to do some kind of partnership with McDonald's. But the big catalyst that's going to force McDonald's hand into making their own marketplace will be a movie deal. I think Avatar is a prime suspect for this. It's coming out this year. They're going to spend several $100 million in marketing and advertising for that bad boy. And historically, they would have released a little collectible toy in every Happy Meal. And I think this is going to be a win-win scenario for the users and McDonald's because previously they would have to buy manufacturing facilities, do all this product testing and development, actually physically put the toy into each Happy Meal, where now they can just make one digital item, replicate it tens of thousands of times, and then distribute it out to the user's app on their phone. And this is going to be huge for them because now they're going to get real-time market research on their users. Simultaneously, the users now have this membership program where they're racking up points that they can utilize to get cheaper discounted meals at McDonald's. I think this is the future for all fast food agencies. They're going to have their hand forced by some massive agency, whether it be sports franchises like the NFL or the NBA. I really think it's going to be some movie deal because historically, when they've had some kind of collectible item come out, specifically in Happy Meals, it's in conjunction with some kind of movie. And I just see this happening. It's playing out in real time. The McRib is the tip of the spear, but Burger King is already starting to talk about it a little bit. We've got Taco Bell's kind of superficially getting a cash grab version of it right here on Rarible. And then same with Pizza Hut. They got their one bite favorite NFTs. But these are the only ones I'm seeing right now. I think that once McDonald's or Burger King really leads the charge on this NFT marketplace membership program and actually shows the other players the financial benefit you can yield from these NFT marketplaces and programs, I think then we'll see a tsunami of all other fast food agencies jumping onto the NFT membership program. And it's with these movie deals that takes me into my 4th item. And for number 4, it's ticketing. I think all tickets across the spectrum from big NFL games all the way down to small concert venues will utilize NFTs of some variety for their ticketing system. It's already starting to happen a little bit out there where No Time to Die released their own NFT collectible. We have the NFL. This was for a playoff game for the Broncos and Bengals game. They released a collectible NFT ticket. And then the NBA Summer League for their 75th anniversary, they released a collectible NFT as well. It's happening for the big games, but I see it trickling down into smaller and smaller games. It's a natural progression of things until it spreads its way into all concert venues, even the smaller concerts you go to. Why, you may ask? Great question. It boils down to security. How many stories have you heard of people getting scammed on the secondary market? Coachella just wrapped, and I'm hearing less about how great the concert was and more about how many people got scammed on the secondary market. This is a serious problem, and it's giving a lot of end users a lot of hesitancy when buying tickets on the secondary market. The concert venue, they want you to have confidence in the secondary market. It's a win-win situation, and I think NFTs is the perfect solve here. The reason is because the blockchain to which these NFTs reside is virtually impossible to hack. We've made natural progressions over the years. We started with a traditional straight up and down QR barcode, and then we upgraded to the more complex two-dimensional QR code. But the hackers have found a way to break that every single time, and NFTs is the natural next progression, I think. And so it's starting to happen for the big games. I see it trickling down into smaller and smaller games. It will be a win-win across the board and will be the future of ticketing moving forward. And number 3 is financial utility. I think that the future of financial utilization and distribution of wealth will take place through NFT communities. Another thing we're starting to see a little bit here is the ape token. If you were living under a rock, you might have missed this. The Bored Ape Yacht Club released their own ape token. And then there's other ones like CyberKongz has its banana coin. They distribute out to their holders. And this is a way to prevent users from selling, right? Everyone at the end of the day is trying to make money. They're buying these assets, waiting till the asset increases in value, and they sell it for a profit. Then they Lambo. But what happens is when more people are selling at the top, that then drives the price back down. And there needs to be some kind of distribution of wealth that prevents people from selling so that there's a more sustainable ecosystem around these NFTs. And the way they do it is through these dividend yields. And this is not a new idea. It happens all the time in the stock market. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, all the big ones give out a distribution of their gains on a quarterly basis to all of the stockholders. It may not be a proportionate, it might not be a fair amount of money that they distribute out. You know, they're making billions and billions of dollars, but they're only giving out hundreds of millions in their dividends. But it's happening nevertheless. We do live in a socialist kind of country where we are distributing wealth all the time in a very socialist way. And I think that NFTs will be a more favorable future moving forward because instead of these like black and white Excel docs and these really boring newsletters we get in the mail every 3 months from Vanguard or Mass Mutual, it will be these really colorful, interactive websites that will be communities of people that include celebrities and people we admire that we want to interact with. And that is going to be the real paradigm shift there because truly, yeah, financial utility does exist today. You can open up a Vanguard account or buy a bunch of dividend yielding stocks, but you lack that community to which NFTs have. The communities are so powerful that I am more willing to convince my family and friends to join these communities than I am to, say, join a Vanguard account or to buy Microsoft stock. I am more interested in them joining these fun, interactive, colorful, and playful communities like Bored Ape, like CyberKongz, and whatever financial utility NFTs come out in the future. And so I think this is the future of things. I mean, how cool would it be if Bank of America came out with some kind of NFT program that was more than just black and white numbers on a spreadsheet? What if it was a fun, colorful, interactive event with celebrities and they paid out a dividend on a regular basis to its end users to help them fund their lifestyle? I think this is a complete inevitability. I think it is going to add an extra je ne sais quoi to the financial markets that they have been missing for a long time. It's been so dry and boring, and NFTs will add that colorful pizzazz to things that the financial markets have been missing for so long. And number 2 is video games and video game assets. Riddle me this. Answer this question for me. How many hours have you spent playing video games? Is it hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of hours? And what do you have to show for it? Did you get anything from it? Did it pay you any money in any way, shape, or form? No. It actually costs you a lot of money. You got to pay $60 per game. You got to spend a couple $100s for the console. There's some kind of live membership you got to pay for on a monthly basis. It costs you a bunch of money and your time, and you have nothing to show for it. Well, the play to earn NFT space is going to blow your mind. It's happening in real time right now. Fractal Marketplace is one of the big leaders in the space where you can play games that actually pay you out, not only through NFT collectibles that you can trade and sell for money. Look, these are worth 1 soul each. You can earn NFT assets, earn in-game items, and in-game tokens that you can then sell on the marketplace, pay for your rent, pull your family out of poverty, buy those new pair of Nikes that are really glinting your eye. Animoca Brands is another one of those power players that is putting money where their mouth is. They are doubling and tripling down in the space because they also see the tsunami of players that will jump at the opportunity to play a video game that pays you out. Sure, there are countless of incredible AAA video games out there for you to play, but how many of them actually pay you money. Well, I think there will be an incredible convergence of the two in the future here. There are people resisting this. I saw that Steam put out an article saying they're going to ban all NFTs. A lot of large players like Amazon and Microsoft are being very trepidatious about the space, which is going to allow smaller marketplaces like Fractal to benefit from this new financial horizon. And once they can kind of work out the kinks and show the big players how it's done, then there will be a floodgate opening and tsunami storm of people flooding into this play to earn space. And I think it is one of those massive, blue sky, sunrise horizons for the NFT space that is going to absolutely explode, especially once we can pull ourselves out of this recession. So right now, it's always darkest before the dawn. I think we're going through some really horrible stuff in the world, in the economy, from COVID to this war in Ukraine. But once the dust settles on all of this, these big players will have built their ships and they will be ready to take on new customers. And I think that is an explosive reason to keep your eye on NFTs. The play to earn space is not something to mess around with. And the number one thing to look out for in the future for NFTs is membership access and VIP programs. That's right. Is there some exclusive club or concierge you want to be a part of? Well, you better believe there will be some kind of NFT gatekeeping your access to that club. Are you a frequent flyer? You travel in the world, want to stay in the Alaska Lounge and rack up some miles? Well, bet your bottom dollar there will be an NFT access token in order to do so. You travel in the world, want to get mega bonuses in more places? Well, Marriott Bonvoy, I guarantee you, will have some kind of NFT associated with that program. And the person leading the charge on this all is Gary Vaynerchuk and his Project V friends. You pay a one-time fee, and then you get exclusive access to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, right now, it's extraordinarily expensive. You got to pay $10,000, maybe $20,000 for one of these NFTs, and then you get to ask Gary Vaynerchuk some questions, get some advice from him. And for savvy entrepreneurs and business owners, this might actually be worth the price of admission. You can ask him some questions, get some advice, and then hopefully offset the fee you paid to get into the club through new business avenues that you gained or got advice from Gary Vaynerchuk. And moreover, when you're a part of this club, you are then rubbing elbows with people in a similar status as you, other business owners, other savvy entrepreneurs, and people in that same socioeconomic class who can pay for this entry fee. Those are the kind of people you might want to start a business with. And so there's a lot of benefits to being a part of these clubs, but it requires a lot of money in order to do so. It's going to start with the big players. I see celebrities getting into it. Kylie Jenner, Kanye are all going to have some exclusive club. And then you, as a fan, can pay this one-time fee and get exclusive interactions with celebrities who you admire. And then this will trickle down all the way to people like you and me. For example, how cool would it be if I had some kind of membership token where you could join this club and see, VIP behind the scenes moments of my life that I don't necessarily want to share with future employers or the government or ISIS or terrorists or people who want to steal money from me. There are all kinds of memories like me thrown up in a trash can at EDC. Like, you want to see that, but I don't want future employers to see that either. So there will be some kind of gatekeeping VIP membership access for all of us so I can share my most vulnerable memories with people who mean me well and actually care about me, And the ticket in order to do so will be some kind of NFT token of some kind. And it's my number one reason why I think the horizon is huge for NFTs. I think membership access tokens like this will infiltrate all corners and spectrums of society. And it has my number one top spot. And it makes me confident that NFTs have only just begun. There are 5 reasons why, and membership access is my number one. And it's time to dingleberry dump into the NFT news. And boy, oh boy, do we have some dingleberries for you today, as the Wall Street Journal says the NFT market is collapsing. However, we have a record-breaking $476 million in Ethereum in one day, and Solana is now the second largest protocol by secondary NFT sales. And for our first story, Wall Street Journal says the NFT market is collapsing, but the data says otherwise. If we scroll down here, they point to the fact that the data coming in is trending downwards, and it looks like it's kind of grasping for air when and where it can. However, on-chain data from Dune Analytics dashboards suggests that the NFT market is still robust, with information showing that NFT users and transactions are much higher than what is reported. So what they're claiming is the Wall Street Journal is skewing data, is leaving out key points, and is missing the overall narrative that we are in fact trending upwards and setting new all-time highs. So this is definitely misconstrued data by Wall Street Journal, and maybe their sponsors and investors are trying to pump more FUD into the market to drive down the price so they can fill up their bags. I have a feeling that all markets are down right now. The US, global, China, you name it, they're all down. So is NFT markets, of course. We're all kind of interconnected in some way. And so these big news organizations are trying to pump FUD to push it down even further so that they themselves can scoop up some sweet bags of Bored Apes. So I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think that's what's going on here. Don't believe everything you're told by mainstream media. And I've got some more stories to back me up, as NFT market collapse reports are greatly exaggerated. This writer goes on to say that they are both statements that they're making cannot simultaneously be true, that if you look at the data they're reporting, it's very contradictory. So this is more evidence to the fact that these big news organizations are trying to pump FUD. They're not telling you the whole story. They're kind of skewing the data to fit their narrative. And you know what? Salacious news sells. People click on stuff more when it's about markets crashing instead of markets doing well. And so there might be some of that in there too. But again, do not believe everything you're told by mainstream media. You want to cross-reference this information with a bunch of other sources. And boy, oh boy, do I have some more sources, as NFT collectors sent $37 billion to marketplaces in 2022, nearly equaling 2021 already. We're 4 months into the year. We're entering the 5th month of the year, and we've already matched all of 2021. I mean, even if we stay at a consistent pattern for the rest of the year, that's a potential 2x of 2021 this year alone. And I got to tell you, I think we're in an exponential upward trend. We could 3x what we did in 2021 if we continue to grow at the same exponential pattern. This is really bullish news. I think it's really encouraging. And I'm pretty stoked to see what happens next. NFTs, are they dead? No. OpenSea just set a new daily trading record of $476 million. Look at this chart right here. Look at this middle finger to all the bears out there that thought we're going down, that they thought the NFT markets are dead. No. Bam, look at this. This is a trend-setting freaking daily record right here. Of course, we're not going to break this for a little while. And this is all on the back of the Bored Apes land sale from Yuga Labs. And really what this is just an innovation. Some brilliant people were sitting in a boardroom. They thought up this idea. I mean, 6 months ago, we didn't know about a Bored Ape coin or a Bored Ape land being sold. And these brilliant people at Yuga Labs thought it up. Was an innovation in the space, and it brought new money and exuberance and sentiment to the NFT markets just from one project alone. So that gives me confidence that there are other brilliant people sitting in boardrooms coming up with innovations that will continue to grow this space. And I am so excited to see it. Wow, $476 million in Ethereum in one day. The Daily Crunch talks about how it's been fairly stagnant since April's launch. The Coinbase NFT sale volume is under $700,000. This is actually good news, right? Now, I know this seems like bad news that the Coinbase is flopping, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. They're too big to fail. They're going to pump some money into this program, fix the broken pieces, even if that involves buying another marketplace and shoehorning it into Coinbase, even if they have to fork over a couple $2 billion and buy Rarible or buy OpenSea and then just make it a part of Coinbase so that their NFT marketplace works. Whatever it is, they're going to figure it out. They're too big to fail. And so the reason I think this is good news is because they are a sleeping giant. They are a multi-billion-dollar sleeping giant who is tripping on their own tie right now. And as soon as they can get on their feet and pick up speed, they will add another several billion dollars in trading volume to the NFT marketplace. And this is at a time when we are setting record-setting amounts of Ethereum. Like we are already setting records, and that is with this handicap. We have one of the biggest players in the space not performing. And so whenever we can get Coinbase on their feet, and I say we like I'm involved in any way, shape, or form, but as soon as Coinbase gets on its feet and starts moving the serious weight that it can move and that it is moving in the crypto division alone, they're going to do a similar amount of billions of dollars in trading volume just on their NFT sales. Once that starts happening, that will be a new quote unquote innovation in the space that will pump more money into the markets and trend the sentiment upwards. So I think this is positive news that we should be excited about, that Coinbase is screwing things up. And one day, hopefully, there's light at the end of the tunnel that they will get it together and we will see new all-time highs on the back of that good news. And Solana, oh my God, Solana is now the second largest protocol by secondary NFT sales volume. I was saying this on my Solana deep dive video on Hard Fork Gaming. Check that out on the Hard Fork Gaming page, where I did a deep dive on Solana and my outlook for Solana in the future. And I said that it was coming for Binance in that video. I said that it's coming for Binance's heels. It is going to pass Binance Smart Chain in the short term, and this is evidence to that fucking hypothesis right here. Sorry for swearing, but they're doing it right now. They are now the second largest protocol by secondary sales. I know there's an asterisk next to it. It isn't necessarily the second protocol. It's the second protocol by secondary NFT sales. But if it can continue at this trend and become the second at everything, it will then eventually pass Binance Coin and then start running towards Ethereum. So Solana is one of those coins that I think has a lot of upside potential. It is in the process of working its way into a top 4 spot. That's where Binance is currently sitting. So I think in the future, if it can pass Binance, it'll be sitting at the number 4 spot. And then once it gets there, it's now gunning for Ethereum, which is another massive mountain to climb. However, 2 or 3 months ago, if you had told me Solana was going to beat out Binance Coin, I would have laughed you out of the room. However, they've continued to innovate in the space with all of these play-to-earn marketplaces, with all these secondary NFT sales. They are finding a way to dethrone kings in the cryptocurrency space, and I think that trend will continue. I'm all Solana. Let's go Solana. And now it's my favorite part of the show. It's the LADZ City Lounge, where you were just kicking it, just chilling with me, the fun uncle, deep in the heart of LADZ City. And the reason I love this segment so much is because I really just get to break things down, no scripts. I'm just shooting from the hips, really, and just talking about LADZ City. Things are going on in my life. There are some, more deeper, complex ideas I wanted to extrapolate from the beginning of this show that I thought are more appropriately to put in the lounge section of this show, because you really want to hook people with the front of these episodes and leave out all the fluff and all the commentary and opinion and just get down to like the hard facts that people want to hear about the subject. And whenever I was doing the deep dive into what I see as the future of NFTs, it really made me, look at the landscape of NFTs currently and what is the world like, and how can I compare it in an analogous way to previous points in history. And the one that really just makes the most sense every time I think about it is the Wild West. NFT markets right now is just like the Wild West, where people are coming out, claiming territory. It seems like there's unlimited territory right now. We haven't really found the walls. Anyone who comes into the space is just claiming up 1,000 acres and trying to build an empire wherever they are. And we're seeing that a lot in the NFT space right now, where it seems to be unlimited. Whenever you mint a project, do 10,000 of them. Who cares? Make 10,000 of them. Even if you're only going to sell 200 of them, screw it. Make 10,000 of them. Because there's unlimited territory. You can make as many as you want. Everyone has an opportunity to build an empire out here. And the walls are so loose that it's so undefined. Like, we really can't tell, where what it's going to be called. And that was another conversation I had in my mind. Is like, we don't have a name for it yet. We keep bouncing around from like, okay, is it blockchain, or is it cryptocurrencies, or is it NFTs, or is it the metaverse, or is it Web3? Like, what is it? Is it all of them simultaneously? And again, I had to go back to these analogies I keep thinking of, like, how can I compare it to things that are going on in the world? And I went to the .com boom, and I thought about the internet, and how the internet was called a lot of things too. Like, it went from being dial-up to being the web, then it was the internet, and then it was broadband, and now we're calling it fiber. And we always had these names, and we always kept changing the technology behind it in an attempt to make it faster and make it more secure. And this whole time, we have just naturally gone with the flow. Whenever there was a faster version of the internet, whenever we went from dial-up to broadband, we said, yeah, I'll pay more money and I'll change my equipment and I'll learn this new piece of software if it means it's faster. And the same thing happened with fiber optics. Like, let me get rid of this old router, get a new one in here, have a technician come out and install it. I'll pay the fees, whatever it is. If it's faster, I will learn it. And if it will improve my quality of life, then I will figure it out. And I think the same thing is happening with the Web3 NFT cryptocurrency space. It's going to constantly change. We will continue to change the name. There will be new players that come in. There will be new power players that supersede others. There will be kings that were sitting at the top that fall, and we never talk about them ever again. The first one that pops in my mind is Tron. I remember Tron token was a coin that was in the top 5 for the longest time. And now no one even talks about it. I don't even know where it is on the list, and the same thing could happen with power players right now. Like Solana is a coin that I'm all about. That's one that could make a huge slip up and fall from grace, or it could continue on its trajectory, supersede Binance, and then start gunning for Ethereum. Like, you never know. These coins came out of nowhere and had a better piece of technology that was faster, more secure, more reliable, more user-friendly. And we just keep seeing these trends in the space. And the narrative that I always come back to, is like, what's the point of building out these analogies? And what's the point of doing all these deep thoughts on, the 10,000 foot view of NFTs? It's all to remind myself of our position in the timeline of things. It's kind of encouraging to be reminded that we are still in the Wild West days. We're so early on. There are empires that you and I could start building. Someone could hit me up tomorrow with a business idea, and we could develop it out, and it could become a $1 billion idea that changes the world. That is how frothy and with unlimited potential the space currently is right now. And it's so exciting. I know it's terrifying to think about the idea that it's the Wild West. Like, people were getting robbed. There were no, cops or U.S. Marshals or firefighters. Like, if you didn't secure your wallet, it's good as stolen. And it really is up to you as individuals to protect your home. You have to get a shotgun to protect your farm from those wolves who want to steal your sheep. And nothing is safe and nothing is sacred. However, sure, with all that negative news, you have to then take in the positive news as well, that but we're so early on, there's unlimited potential. I could set myself and my family and my family's family up for life if I put in the hard work right now and take advantage of this new frothy technology paradigm that we're going through right now. And it's extraordinarily exciting, and I keep wanting to make the most of all of these interactions and conversations I have with all of you, because you're brilliant, forward-thinking people who are leading the charge, who are on the tip of the spear in this new Web3 paradigm. We don't know what we're going to call it even. And it could even be one of you people watching this right now who finally figure out the name of what it's going to be. And that's because that's how close we are to each other. I'm 2 degrees of separation from Animoca Brands, I'm 2 degrees of separation away from Mark Cuban in this space. It's so small that we're all rubbing elbows with billionaires and world leaders in this really small niche group of people. I was just informed during NFT Live on Friday that there are only 90,000 people in the NFT space. That's a lot of people, but again, there's 7, 8, 9 billion people on planet Earth, and only 90,000 of them have NFTs. Wow, that's incredible. And then the overall crypto market is barely penetrating 3% of the world. Now, to be a devil's advocate, how many people have spare money laying around to buy nefarious things like cryptocurrencies? Not a lot of people, especially in this economy. 65% of the US population can't afford a $400 emergency. That's how tight things have come. And that's an old stat. I'm pretty sure with COVID and this current recession and the housing crisis and the war in Ukraine, that number has skewed significantly in the wrong direction. It's probably 75% of the US population can't afford $400. And you know what? $400 can't buy you what it used to anymore. So things are pretty bad. However, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. And you got to think two things. A, how lucky are we to not be in those horrible positions? We know that we can put food on the table and we have the kind of money to buy cryptocurrencies. So lucky for us. Even though the markets are down, these are good problems to have. And then also, I think the other shoe has dropped. It's always darkest before the dawn. Things are pretty bad right now. But I would argue, can they get worse? We've already, the war has already started in Ukraine. The economy is starting to slip because of the money we printed during COVID. We're already over through the hump. The big hump is over. We're trending downwards. Masks are being removed. We don't have to wear masks on airplanes anymore. The light is starting to get brighter around us in everyday life. Kylie Jenner and Kanye West have already broken up. How much more bad news? I think I even screwed that up. It's Kim Kardashian and screw it. I don't care. The bad news has already happened. The shoe has already dropped. I think we're through the worst of it. I think we're going to start to see, things aren't going to turn around tomorrow. It might continue to trend downwards for a couple more months, but I honestly think, how much more bleeding really will take place. Do you think Bitcoin's going to go down to 20,000? No, I really don't think so. Really horrible things would have to happen in order for us to drop that low. And honestly, some really horrible things have already happened and it didn't push us down that low. And so some even more horrible things would have to happen, even more extreme than what's already happened to force us down even lower. I don't think that's going to happen. It would have to be like a nuclear bomb going off or something in order to push us down even lower. And so I just, at the end of the day, I feel really excited about the markets. The long-term play has always been there. The technology is extraordinary. People are constantly innovating in the space every single day. And so it all just gives me so much hope about the long-term potential, about the crypto markets, about Web3, about NFTs. And I would encourage anyone watching, please hit me up in the Discord. I want to work with you. I want to start a company with you. If it's about Web3, I want to be involved. I will make videos for you. I will help you with the development, with the pitch decks. I will make you advertising and marketing about it. I want to be on the ground floor with your Web3 innovations. Please, please, please hit me up because I know there are some brilliant people working on something incredible right now, and I want to be your uncle. Please hit your uncle up. I want to help you. I got deep pockets too. If it's a good idea, I'll put some of my own money into it as well. But really, I do marketing. I do advertising. I will help promote it. I've got this pipeline of distribution. I'll do a whole show about it on fununcle. Please, 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 I'm begging you, hit me up. And also make sure to smash the like. Tell me what you think about the content down in the comments below. And at the end of it all, I really love you guys. I love being a part of LADZ City. I want to keep growing this. And we've got some exciting stuff on the horizon, some of which I might have already leaked in previous episodes. And I've had my wrist slapped about that. I shouldn't have let the cat out of the bag too early. If you are a true detective, you can look it up. I'm not going to say it again. But there's some new stuff on the horizon that's really exciting. That has rejuvenated my excitement for LADZ City and the LADZ City community. And just sees the horizon for us, not just within LADZ City, but the overall markets, Web3. We are seriously catching the wave on something huge. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. That's all I got for this episode, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this old bag of air talk for as many months as I've been doing this. And I want to make this content better for you. You deserve better content. And also, I want to make it better because this space is getting better. And I'll I want to stay involved with it in as many ways as I can. So without spending too much time waxing poetically, I miss you guys. Hit me up in the Discord. I love doing this stuff, and I'm glad I'm back in the seat making some fun uncle stuff. Do you like crypto, NFTs, and video games? Well, the Fun Uncle YouTube page is your one-stop shop for all of my content across all networks and platforms. You want to make sure to hit the link down in the description below and join me today. You do not want to miss out on any of this content because I work diligently to demystify the complexities of blockchain technology.